Shout out to Minnesota for holding it down for the resistance inside the simulation. They were successful as it relates to beating off ICE, and so they are going to be withdrawing in phases, so incrementally. So that's a good thing. They demonstrated to the rest of North America what it takes to resist a force of that magnitude. There were lives lost, two lives, Renee Good and Alex Pretty. And then, of course, there were tons of arrests and untold amount of unlawful use of force case issues. So, prayerfully, they'll be taking those up a bit later. Shout out to the local law enforcement who got their shit together and worked to control the presence of enforcement in their city. So, but yeah, shout out to that, and good job for the Department of Homeland Security. That does not include ICE, but DHS for actually getting some work done and getting the fraud noticed, getting the investigations underway, and tackling the illegalities of the fraud there that's been run so rampant. And so hopefully they'll get to the bottom of that. But that issue needed to be addressed. And at the same time, the resistance didn't allow them to muddy the waters and take our rights while they do their job, right? So that's a great thing. The line was very, very thin, and they did deploy some acoustic weapons, biological weapons that were illegal. So they'll be dealing with that here a little bit later on the 3rd. But we just want to shout out to Minnesota, rest in peace, for those that were a part of the resistance. Your martyrdom did not go, I guess, in vain for the battle, and we have more to come. But I just wanted to give them their praises and thank them that we're not in martial law as of yet. So.
With that, and success that has been made arresting public safety threats and other priorities since this surge operation began, as well as the unprecedented levels of coordination we have obtained from state officials and local law enforcement, I have proposed, and President Trump has concurred, that this surge operation conclude. A significant drawdown has already been underway this week and will continue to the next week. We have a lot of work to do across this country to remove public safety risk who shouldn't even be in this country, and to deliver on President Trump's promise for strong border security and mass deportation. Law enforcement officers drawn down from this surge operation will either return to their duty stations or be assigned elsewhere to achieve just that. We will continue to enforce Title VIII immigration law throughout this nation. Prioritizing national security threats and public safety risks makes sense. But I'll continue to say over and over again, if you are here in the country legally, you're not exempt from our immigration laws. If we encounter you, we'll take appropriate enforcement action. For those that say we are backing down from immigration enforcement or the promise of mass deportations, you are simply wrong. Look at the data. Record number of arrests and deportations under President Trump's first year. And we'll continue that effort. Prioritizing public safety threats and national security threats doesn't mean we'll forget about everybody else. We will take action on everybody else. That's just a stone cold fact. A small footprint of personnel will remain for a period of time to close out and transition full command and control back to the field office, as well as to ensure agitator activity continues to decline, and that state and local law enforcement continue to respond to ensure officer and community safety. Additionally, federal government personnel assigned to conduct criminal investigation into the agitators, as well as the personnel assigned here for the fraud investigations, will remain in place until their work is done. I will also remain on the ground for a little longer to oversee the drawdown of this operation and ensure its success.
Hey, it's Attorney Montgomery. It is late, but I had to come on here and give you guys the good news. It is true, it is accurate. Judge Anna Reyes has indeed blocked Trump's attempt at terminating TPS this evening. That is the news, and it is true. It was reported on Reuters.com, and we know that we can trust Reuters. If I'm not saying that correctly, it's either Reuters or Waters, one of them. Either way, the news is here. TPS has been saved. Now, is it a short-term victory? We do not know. But I am proud to say that we remain vigilant, we remain prayerful, and God has shown up and shown out as he always does for the immigrant population. This is a win. This is a tremendous, tremendous win. Now, I know we're going to have questions. What happens now? Now we wait for Department of Homeland Security to reopen registration to allow TPS to proceed and people to have valid work authorizations. As of right now, I do not have the news. The judge has ruled. Now it's going to be on the Trump administration to do what they need to do. I anticipate, and I've been telling you guys, even if this did happen, that the Trump administration can appeal. So brace yourself, prepare yourself, but congratulations. The news is indeed accurate. Have a good evening, everybody. Bye.
All day, every day, therapist, mother, maid, then a virgin, nurse, then a servant, just an appendage, lip to attendance, so that he never lifts a finger, 24/7, baby machine.
Students poured out of Dallas ISD schools, starting at the Yvonne Ewell Townview Magnet Center, protesting ICE operations in Dallas. Junior Thomas Bogman, the event organizer.
The fear that our peers go through every single day, it has to be vocalized. And what we're doing right now is vocalizing that fear that we've been hearing for months.
I have people who have as many as 3 U.S. citizen children to as much as 8 U.S. citizen children. All of those children are attending Texas school districts every day. They are dealing with the weight of their parents being detained and potentially deported. And then there's also students who are dealing with their parents being deported, and yet they're showing up to our schools every day.
Local immigration attorney Belinda Arroyo.
These walkouts, I believe, allow them to at least express the way that they're feeling inside, whether that's frustration, whether that's depression, whether that's anger, in a way that for them, they feel like somebody will listen, somebody will hear.
Governor Greg Abbott and the Texas Education Agency Commissioner Mike Morath put school districts on notice last week that they could face funding cuts and other legal liability, including possible takeover of the district if they in some way facilitate student walkouts to stage protests. Some school districts now under investigation by the TEA.
The Supreme Court has been very clear about free speech of students, and that free speech of students does not include leaving the school to go protest.
But we didn't want them to walk out, but we couldn't stop them.
Dr. Michael Hinojosa was in his first year as superintendent in 2006 when students walked out of all Dallas high schools protesting federal immigration policy at that time.
I take this personally, I'm an immigrant and I grew up in Oak Cliff, and all this is, it's like we're going backwards instead of forward. And so it's very frustrating. But, we have to believe in this country. It's based upon the right principles.
No hate! No fear!
Principals, students across Dallas ISD say they are standing on right now.
That everyone, no matter their race, how they look, what they speak, that they belong here and that they're here to support everyone else.
Since you have refused to leave the roadway, you will be placed under arrest on the charge of disorderly conduct. If you do not cooperate and accompany the arresting officer to the prisoner transport vehicle, or if you resist arrest, you may be charged with additional crimes.
Sanctuary Campus is a moral declaration that education belongs to everyone, regardless of status.
Hey, it's Attorney Montgomery. Immigration updates. So, I'm going to focus specifically to address a lot of questions that I'm getting in my DMs. TPS has been paused by the decision from last week. However, Department of Homeland Security and Kristi Noem have remained silent. The reason they have remained silent is because they know that without an extension, without reopening re-registration, that people are going to lose their jobs. And that's really their intention. They want you to lose your job. They want you to be in a bad situation. That's what they want. So a lot of folks are asking me, well, what can you do? There's nothing we can do at this time. Until we hear from Homeland Security or we get new route to be able to help you, we don't have any updates. I'm not coming on here to sugarcoat anything for you because that's just not where we're at. So there's not a universal I-9 renewal. There's not an I-9 re-registration. There's not an automatic extension until Homeland Security says there is. So at this time, I understand the frustrations. I understand people panicking. People don't want to be out here driving without licenses. People don't want to be out here with an expired work permit. That's where you are. We have no updates at this time. However, the fact that TPS is paused means that if you have a deportation order, you cannot be deported, even though we're hearing that is happening. You also still have the TPS protection until or if you can find another sort of protection. You know, and I can jump up and down, and I do it all the time, and I tell you guys, if you have another avenue, get that other avenue started. But most people do not have another avenue. This is all they have. And so you guys are in a tough situation, and I, like most attorneys, don't have any other updates for you. I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to be honest with you. Your other options, more permanent options, are marriage to a U.S. citizen, employer sponsorship, 245I, if you qualify for that, but you had to have been here for a very long time to be able to still qualify for that. SIJS, if you are young and you're still a minor, that's available to you. Asylum, as we know, there are, that's the option. Cancellation of removal, if you've been here for over 10 years and you have built roots in the United States, and you have a family, and you have children, and you have businesses, and you have properties, and that can help you, but that's only if you are in actual deportation proceedings. If you're not in deportation proceedings, then cancellation of removal is not an option for you. So that's where we are today, guys. I wish I had better news or a better update because it's almost a week since the pause occurred. But again, we should not expect anything different from this administration. But anyways, I wanted to come on here and answer your questions, or at least let you know that I see your messages. I just don't have any updates for you. All right? Until next time.
You are now under arrest. Please sit down and wait.
All right, so before we go on, I just wanted to pause and add that, yes, we won that battle. So they're not running the streets. ICE is not patrolling the streets in ICE garb, military garb, and harassing the citizens. So that's the battle that we won. Now they're not renewing the temporary protected statuses for the Haitians or the Ethiopians. I think the Venezuelans and Somalians are already underway. But for the ones who are here now, the Haitians and the Ethiopians, it is paused. However, they're trying to undercut that by saying that they're not going to renew your driver's license, and they're even like suspending passports and things of this nature. So be very cautious about that. That might be another way, and then forcing the employer to I guess verify residency or status or whatever. So that's happening, and so that's what they should have been doing from the get-go instead of harassing the citizens, right? So target things illegally and do it the right way. So, but that's where we're at now. Coming up here is where they are out of pocket, out of order.
This is a test of the long-range acoustic device LRAD 1, 2.
And so, but yeah, they are using that. But let me go ahead. We'll play this one first. But this is biological weapons that they're not supposed to use on U.S. soil. But
You are now under arrest. Please sit down and wait for instruction. Where's your credentials?
I'm at level 12 news.
I can't hear you.
I'm at level 12 news. BG on the scene. I just pressed.
You don't have any press credentials?
I don't. I can tell you.
All right, why don't you move out there, okay? Just get out there. Stay outside the line, okay? Coming out. Coming out.
They have made multiple arrests.
Test of the long-range acoustic device LRAD 1, 2, 3. This is a test of the long-range acoustic device LRAD 1, 2, 3.
LRAD is a military-grade device. It is a sonic weapon that can literally cause permanent hearing damage. It is a military-grade weapon. They are testing it on these protesters, if you can see in this video, who are not in any way agitating, in any way violent or raucous or even clustered together. They're all spread out. They used a military-grade sonic weapon against U.S. citizens on domestic soil. This is ICE. They are a terrorist organization that our government is currently funding. This is ICE.
All day, every day, therapist, mother, maid, nymph, then a virgin, nurse, then a servant, just an appendage, lift to attendance, so that he never lifts a finger. 24/7, baby machine, so he can live out his picket fence dreams.
So I hope you enjoyed the presentation and the videos. It was a culmination of what's going on in the zeitgeist right now. Again, staying on theme, this is propaganda pieces, a part of the larger psychological operation on immigration. And so we are noticing this. We are taking control of our mind, so they are not able to control it for us. We are noticing the protests around the world. We are noticing how the resistance is effective and is effective through organization. So the people are not just in compliance, which is a great thing. as it relates to our rights here in North America as citizens of the United States of America. So that's going to be good. That's an excellent thing. So I hope you enjoyed it. Moving forward, I'm going to talk very briefly about organized pedophilia and how they are trying to shift the Overton window here. And so we're going to have to get control of that narrative. So I'm working on that. But I just wanted to, again, bring this battle in Minnesota to an end. We've been following it. They've been doing excellent. And they've been a great demonstration as to how we should move forward.
All right. I hope y'all enjoyed that, and have a great day.